We're coming to you live from our studios in Kigali, Rwanda. I am Isabel Massos, and I do appreciate your company. Now, to start our bulletin, health sector players are concerned that they may not be able to take full advantage of the changes in working hours, while others are concerned that the new schedule might affect service delivery. Jessica Agasaro ushers us in.
The first days of January 2023 is when the change in the working hour was supposed to start being observed, but it collided with the public holidays. It is now expected to start for workers this Wednesday, the 4th of January 2023. This is the decision of the Council Ministry that met in November 11, 2022, which will be implemented for school by the start of the second semester on the 9th January 2023. The population of Kigali received these changes in different ways. Our children will sleep enough and we will have time to prepare them for school and we will not be late for work. There are times when you go to ask for service in the sector and you find that it is already lunchtime and they haven't delivered the service since morning, which means if you start work at 8:30 or 9 a.m., it will be even worse. They said that there are things that need to be improved and include medical institution. This is after the Ministry of Health said that the medical staff and health centers will continue to work at normal hours, something that was not well received by some of those who work in this sector. It is possible that they can increase the number of employers and give us a way to work those hours or not, because the work we do usually involve many injuries and there is no reward. Maybe they can raise the salary or give us other allowances so that we can work happily. On the side of the non-governmental organization, these changes should be linked to the law as they were coming from the non-governmental organization that defend for the right to work and the non-governmental organization that aims to build a country that follows the law. The permanent secretary in the Ministry of Public Service and Labor, Musonera Gaspar, insists that these changes are aimed at increasing productivity and protecting the family.
The decision of the cabinet meeting came to solve the problems that hindered the workers and their families, so that a Rwandan citizen that works can also have time to spend with their family and prepare the future of the country. We are going to start implementing it, but we also look at the obstacles and discuss them with the concerned authorities.
The decision to change the working hours in Rwanda was announced at the ministerial meeting held in November 2022, where work should start from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., but between 8:30 and 9 a.m. people can work remotely. As for school, they will be starting at 8:30 to 5 p.m. Jessica Agasaro, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, Jessica. Now, Kigali city residents have expressed that infrastructure construction ought to increase the value of their property. Olivon Tete unpacks.
The road Itunda-Busanza is a 3-kilometer road that was built while Rwanda was about to host the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting in 2022. This road paved the way for the development of other 3.5-kilometer access roads, which were built by residents at a cost of more than 100 million Rwandan francs. For the residents of Itunda village, the construction of asphalt roads assisted them to overcome some of the challenges they frequently encountered. We didn't have access to clean water. We used to get water from rivers down there in Kanamba, and a jerrycan of water would cost 500 Rwandan francs. It was really hard to get a motorbike when it rained or even when it was too sunny. 6 access roads were built by residents in Itunda village, Rubirizi cell in Kicukiro district. Residents of this village say that they have greatly benefited from the construction of these roads.
This solves so many challenges. Transportation is easier now. We can head to work easily. School buses can pick up children easily, because before, bus riders used to refuse to come here because the road was very damaged. But that has been solved.
Local authorities point out some of the used strategies to achieve these infrastructure goals.
The first strategy used to achieve these infrastructures, a meeting carried out for planning the construction of these activities. We also involved the residents in those meetings. And then we used to number all the residents in that particular neighborhood, then share the budget for the construction of the roads. We still have 3 more roads that are in the pipeline of construction, and we use the same strategy. Residents in the neighborhood where those roads will be constructed will meet and plan out for the construction of those roads.
Residents of Kigali have currently constructed 67 kilometers of access roads in various neighborhoods, and the effort is also being carried out in various areas in Kigali. Olive Nete, RwandaTV News.
Moving on, farmers from the eastern province are pleased with the close proximity and newfound access they have to processing factories, which they believe will increase investments in the sector. Now, Rwanda Agriculture Board has assured entrepreneurs that these new developments ought to add to the value of the investments. Precious Kirezi expounds.
Sweet potato farmers in Rwamagana district constructed a processing factory for their produce, which they believe will be an appealing incentive for investors looking to get into agriculture. Residents and farmers will not lack produce because getting demand is well within the reach of those starting the factories. Private sector players in Rwamagana district recently started operations of a processing factory for sweet potatoes with vitamin A. The factory is a potential solution for storage issues and produce going bad and the low demand that is a common post-production occurrence, which the founders have further explained.
This
country is not producing enough wheat flour. But if other alternatives were to be used to make bread and other baked goods, the problem would be solved. There is always a high sweet potato harvest and that won't go to waste anymore, thanks to this new development.
Farmers with the Eastern Province are pleased with the newfound access they now have to processing factories, including ones for bananas, pineapples, and corn that are pre-existing, and adding a sweet potato processing factory to the mix is a welcome solution.
My sweet potatoes are always going to have a place to go, and I am going to start mass producing them, starting with an additional 3 hectares.
The Director General of the Rwanda Agriculture and Animal Resources Board has expressed that the government intends to support projects aimed at adding value to the agriculture sector.
The government will work with entrepreneurs to start operating processing factories, and this will help farmers to get loans. They can repay at an interest rate below 50% what is usually paid. The government is financially invested in this process.
In addition to processing factories benefiting the agriculture sector, the Eastern Province also sells produce from different industries. Precious Tirezi, RTV News.
Thank you, Precious. Now to health news. Records reveal that 86% of the Rwandan population has subscribed to health insurance. A new policy indicates that access to health care will only be availed after costs have been paid in full. Prince Manzi has this report.
Augustin Sengumuremyi's family usually consults the Kinyinya Health Center in Gasabo district for medical checkups. This is a large family that states that they have not even paid a cent for the insurance. I used to pay for 8 people plus me and my wife, making us 10, but I have not paid any, meaning that any case of sickness would be a huge burden. It is not safe, that is why I'm searching where I can find money to pay. When one gets sick, I only consult the pharmacy. The 31st December 2022 was the deadline for every citizen using the community-based health insurance to have fully paid its fee amount, especially those who paid 75% of the price, for them to continue accessing health services.
I have a child that I have not yet paid for his insurance because he's not registered in Udehe categories. When he feels sick, I take him to health counselors or just buy medicines.
For those who have already paid the community-based health insurance fee amount, the access will continue to valid till August this year. Nevertheless, some say that there are some difficulties in accessing some services.
I recently lost my ID card. I was terribly sad today. I had my ID numbers on a piece of paper, but they told me to look for a document that will replace the lost ID card, and I can't get those replacements due to these holidays. For that reason, I angrily paid 100%. First I paid 1,307 Rwandan francs, and the second time I paid 608 Rwandan francs.
Dogratias Nigurirwa of the Rwanda Social Security Board points out that in the 13% of the citizens who have not yet paid the community-based health insurance, 2.2% paid but not covered the full payment, and the deadline has exceeded. These citizens paid 75% of the fee, not 100%, and the policy indicates that they were to access health services until the 31st December, meaning that to access medical services on the 1st January is to have fully paid their payment. There are 2.2% who paid 75%, meaning that even their families are not to access medical services. We are requesting them to pay the remaining 25% for them to access medical services as they did last year. 86.7% of those with the community-based health insurance membership fully paid the fee, different from 2021-2022, where the numbers were 84.7%. Starting with the 1st January 2023, the system is open for those willing to pay for the 2023-2024. Prince Manzi, RwandaTV News.
Industry players in Rwanda whose manufacturing processes require honey, including beverages, say that they're still importing it because it is locally produced on a small scale. Now, according to the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, all possible solutions are being explored to increase honey production to 8,500 tons by 2024. Watch. According to the Skydrop Industries employee Lucky Morekezi, although honey is one of the main requirements for manufacturers of fermented drinks, locally it remains in short supply, forcing industry players to turn to neighboring countries.
Those who have honey have small quantities. We have to increase the production because there is demand in Rwanda, and whatever we produce we can consume because we manufacture a lot of alcohol. We import it because we can't find it locally. We can only access it easily from Tanzania and neighboring countries. The honey from Cyangugu is also expensive.
There are also traders and consumers that are concerned about the quality of the honey, as explained by Habimana Ernest.
We have a problem of quality, and sometimes we sell honey not knowing that it does not meet the standards.
The small amount of honey produced in Rwanda is in high demand globally, currently exported to Europe, Asia, and other parts of the world. The AG Director General in charge of livestock at the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources, Mukasekuru Matilda, says a lot is being done to increase the production and quality of honey on the market. We are training beekeepers how to enhance their craft using technology. We're also exploring afforestation with different stakeholders. Also, RSSB is training beekeeping, investigating what is needed to ensure good quality honey on the market, as well as scale up production. According to the UN Biodiversity Organization, in order to get 1 kilogram of honey, one bee has to make about 50,000 trips to roughly 1 million flowers. An environmental protection expert says bees are threatened by the use of pesticides on crops. However, they're very useful in pollinating corn, beans, soybeans, and other flowering crops.
Bees are
very important because besides producing honey, they are also useful in pollinating. Without caring for them, we can't have enough harvest. We can't say we want to increase harvest without them.
The AG Director General in charge of livestock at the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources reveals that there's a way that agriculture can be done effectively to enhance beekeeping. It is currently well done by coffee growers because the farmers were cautioned to use pesticides before pollination. During that time, bees stay away. But when it comes to vegetable and potato growers, we have a challenge to educate them to use pesticides in the evening when the bees are away, so that when they return in the morning, the pesticides have dissolved. The 2022 figures released by the Ministry of Agriculture and Animal Resources show that honey production reached 6,135 tons, and the country's goal is to reach 8,500 tons by 2024. Still on agriculture matters, some of the rice farmers who work in Chunuzi marshland that connects Ngoma and Kirehe district are worried about their rice that is dying in the fields due to flooding close to the harvest season. Now, Kirehe district officials have, however, reassured them because their crops are insured. Jessica Agasaro once more.
These farmers who work in the cooperative Kompriki Kinuzi clean the dry rice which has been harvested, and others are chasing away the birds that are still in the field. This rice was ready for harvest, but the farmer were surprised to see that the rice had died in the field due to a disease. They began to show concern about the loss. The rice has been infected with a disease that will dry it up and you won't find the milk inside that creates the rice. But this disease that appears to the plant when you are about to harvest, it doesn't appear when there's still time to put in some medication or at least find a cure. The effect is certain because the production has been very slow.
The harvest this time must fail because when we weigh it, we find that the grass is more than the rice, and the overall weight is much less than what we expected.
These farmers want the agricultural authorities to look into this issue so that it will not return in the next crop season. We hope that they will find a cure so that we won't have this disease again. The administration of Kirehe district says that the problem of this rice that dies in the field before harvest is not due to the disease, but it is caused by flood, and they comfort the farmer because they are covered by insurance.
No, it's not a problem of disease. It's a problem of too much water. We can't tell the farmers and anybody else listening to us right now that the crops were insured. Our farmers had taken insurance for years because of working with different companies. They provided insurance to the farmers and didn't have anything to do with the incident.
Kopriki Kinuzi cultivates rice on an area of 490 hectares. About 20 hectares were destroyed by the flood that occurred in October and November last year. The insurance company is planning to estimate the yield at the beginning of this month so that those farmers will be repaid. Jessica Agasaro, RwandaTV News.
And that is my time with you. A pleasure bringing you my first bulletin of the year and hoping to do more as the year unfolds. Thanks for choosing RTV News. I am Isabel Masozera on behalf of the entire team here at RBA. Thanks for watching.